Think of your last conversation with someone of the opposite gender, be that your best friend, a coworker, or the cashier at your local grocery store. Who began the conversation? Who attributed more? And what were your goals of the conversation? Do you believe your partner's goals were the same? My name is Christine Patillo, and I'm a student at Jackson State Community College. Through my education, specifically in courses such as oral communication, I have researched diversity and its impact on how communication is conducted. Gender identity plays a huge role in the way communication is navigated. Many biological and societal barriers present themselves through the conduction of communication between the sexes. However, with proper intellect and respect, communication can be a bridge across those barriers, allowing for a foundation of understanding. To build this bridge for female and male communication, it is important to identify the differences of socialization between the genders, the innate sexism that lies within speech, and how to overcome these obstacles. Most forwardly, males lean towards more goal-oriented conversations, while females lean towards more connection-oriented conversations. In the 7th edition of Communication Principles of a Lifetime, a 2019 textbook written by doctors of communication, it is said that men tend to talk only when they have something to say, whereas women use communication as a means of connection. The motives between the genders is completely different. This is evident through various research. Janice Day Lang, a doctor of social work, stated in a 1995 article that men listen to a reason, a bottom line, whereas women pay closer attention to the meaning behind what is being spoken. The presence of varying motives proves one key characteristic difference between males and females. Females view relationships much more personally than males, emotions playing a huge factor in how they conduct their conversations. In a 2004 Yale Academic Scholarly article, Gender and Communication, it is explained that women are natural at communication, generally good at communicating how they feel and connection with other people, while men tend to struggle more due to substandard skills in emotion and conversation. Each of these numerous differences in women and men throughout communication creates a sense of barrier between the sexes. This leads us into an undeniable sexism that underlines many details of communication. Gender bias can be found in any form of everyday conversation. As stated in Janice Day Lang's article, as men and women converse together, verbal and nonverbal communication and interpretation occur accordingly to the rules learned in same-sex groups or cultures. Throughout maturity, gender bias is often being pushed on everyone, even within communication, without the general consciousness of it happening. This can be found even in the process of asking a question, whereas when men tend to be asked a question by a woman, his first instinct is to believe that she is unintelligent and that he is superior to her. Whereas when a woman tends to be asked a question by a man, she is inclined to help. Nicknames and labels within society also display prevalence in sexism in communication. In a 2019 research project estimating the prevalence of gender-based language in undergraduates' everyday speech, professors of psychology found that language representing males is used way more frequently than that of which represents females, such as terms as "hey guys," or "dude," or "bro." Despite this, it is important to acknowledge that gender bias can be found in either gender. Now that we understand the underlying variance in communication between the sexes, it is important to know how to overcome them and use them to better understand each other. This includes awareness of connection and the motivations behind what you are saying. One common mistake is the belief that ignorance is bliss. The authors of Communication Principles of a Lifetime found that there is less anxiety and negativity around a subject such as gender bias and gender identity if it's discussed openly and appropriately. This means to be aware of the differences of gender and what it means to communicate and allow it to benefit your growth. With the biological and sociological factors that play into communication between the genders, it is important to know how to navigate the differences. Communication connects those of diverse backgrounds and identities, including gender. Despite the numerous ways in which the genders are separated, such as simply how they communicate daily and the sexism rooted within their discussion, it is possible to conduct intellectual communication. With respect and awareness of those outside of your own identity, communication can become easier, and way more inclusive. Thank you so much for listening.